A peaceful journey through the hanging gardens of Babylon, a calming bedtime story. Chapter 1T. The Gates of Babylon. You arrive at the magnificent Ishtar Gate, and time seems to slow as you approach this wonder of the ancient world. The deep blue bricks shimmer under the soft evening light, each one perfectly placed by hands that worked with reverence and care. Thousands of years ago, the gate rises before you like a gentle giant, welcoming you into the sacred city of Babylon. Its surface tells stories in glazed relief. Dragons and bulls march in eternal procession across the azure walls, their forms catching the golden light of the setting sun. You run your fingers along the smooth surface, feeling the warmth that the day has left behind in the ancient clay. As you pass through the archway, your footsteps echo softly on the processional way. The sound creates a gentle rhythm, like a heartbeat, steady and soothing. The pathway stretches before you, paved with stones worn smooth by countless pilgrims and travelers, each one seeking the peace that this sacred place offers. Tall walls rise on either side of the processional way, decorated with more glazed animals. Lions stride proudly along the walls, their golden manes flowing like silk, their eyes seeming to follow your peaceful journey with ancient wisdom. The evening breeze whispers through the corridor, carrying with it the scent of distant gardens, jasmine and rose, cedar and cypress. You walk slowly, allowing each step to ground you in this moment. The modern world fades away behind you, leaving only the timeless beauty of this place, where kings once walked, where prayers were offered to the stars, where the very air seems to hold the memory of countless peaceful evenings just like this one. The light grows softer as you move deeper into the city. Shadows lengthen and merge, creating patterns of deep blue and gold on the ancient stones. And above you, the first stars begin to appear, pinpricks of silver light in the darkening sky. They watch over your journey with the same gentle presence they offered to the ancient Babylonians. Or you pause for a moment, breathing deeply. The air is warm and sweet, filled with the promise of the gardens that await you. In the distance, you can hear the gentle sound of flowing water, like a lullaby calling you forward. The sound mingles with the evening song of birds settling into their roosts, creating a symphony of peace. The gate behind you grows smaller as you continue your journey, but its presence remains with you, a reminder of the threshold you have crossed. From the busy world of today into the serene realm of ancient wonder, your shoulders relax, your breathing deepens, each step taking you further into tranquility. As you walk, you notice small details that speak of the care taken in creating this place. Tiny flowers carved into cornerstones, patterns in the brickwork that catch and hold the fading light, channels carved into the pathway to guide rainwater toward the gardens. Everything here was designed with intention, with love, with a deep understanding of how beauty can heal the soul. The processional way begins to curve gently, leading you toward the heart of Babylon. You can sense rather than see the great structures that await you. The hanging gardens, the royal palace, the sacred temples, all resting in peaceful harmony, waiting to welcome you into their embrace. Your pace naturally slows even more. There is no hurry here, no urgency. Time moves differently in this place, measured not by clocks, but by the gentle rhythm of your breathing, the soft whisper of wind through ancient stones, the gradual deepening of shadows as night approaches. You find yourself walking in rhythm with your heartbeat, each step a meditation, each breath a prayer of gratitude for this moment of peace. The cares and worries that you carried with you seem to dissolve, leaving only a profound sense of calm, of being exactly where you need to be, in this moment, in this sacred space. The walls around you tell their stories without words. Stories of artisans who worked with patient skill, of rulers who dreamed of creating beauty that would endure through the ages, of gardeners who coaxed life from the desert soil, of priests who offered prayers under these same stars. Their presence feels gentle, welcoming, like the embrace of old friends. As you continue your walk, you become aware of the incredible engineering that made this place possible. The channels that bring water from distant rivers, the terraces that transform flat desert into a mountain of gardens, the foundations that have stood firm for millennia. All of it speaks to human ingenuity, guided by a deep love of beauty, a desire to create paradise on earth. The evening air grows cooler, and you pull your cloak closer around your shoulders. The fabric is soft and warm, dyed in the deep blues and golds that echo the colors of the gate. Behind you, you feel wrapped in comfort, protected and cherished as you make your way through this ancient wonder. Ahead, you can see the first glimpse of green, plants spilling over terraced walls, leaves that seem to glow in the fading light. The sight fills you with anticipation, not the urgent excitement of the modern world, but the gentle pleasure of a promise about to be fulfilled, like watching a flower slowly open or a star gradually brighten in the darkening sky. You pause once more, turning to look back at the Ishtar gate. Ah, now framed by the walls of the processional way, a perfect picture of blue and gold against the purple sky. Oh, the sight fills your heart with gratitude for this moment, for this place, for the peace that flows through you like warm honey. Taking a deep breath, you turn once more toward the gardens, your soul ready for the wonders that await. The first chapter of your journey through ancient Babylon draws to a close, but the peace you have found here will remain with you, a gentle current carrying you forward into even deeper tranquility. Chapter 2. The Rising Gardens. You emerge from the processional ways, and before you rise the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon, terraced levels climbing toward the evening sky, like a green mountain, built by the gods themselves. The sight takes your breath away, not with shock or surprise, but with the deep satisfaction of finally seeing something you have dreamed of your entire life. The gardens rise in 7 perfect terraces, each one supported by massive arches of weathered stone. The architecture seems to grow from the earth itself, as natural as the plants it supports, yet clearly the work of master builders who understood both beauty and strength. Water flows down from terrace to terrace, creating a gentle music that fills the air with its peaceful song. You approach the first level, where the most accessible gardens spread before you like a carpet of living color. Flowers bloom in gentle profusion, roses and jasmine, lotus blossoms floating in still pools, herbs that release their fragrance at the touch of the evening breeze. The air is sweet and clean, filled with the breath of growing things. A pathway winds through this lowest garden, paved with smooth stones, worn to silk by countless feet. You follow it slowly, in no hurry to reach any destination, content to simply be present in this moment. Among these ancient plants, breathing this perfumed air, listening to the eternal song of water over stone. The plants around you seem to glow in the fading light. Their leaves, catching the last golden rays of the sun, palms spread their fronds like protective umbrellas, their shadows creating cool spaces where you can pause and rest. Date trees, heavy with fruit, rustle gently, their sound like whispered blessings. You reach out to touch a flowering vine, its petals soft as silk, beneath your fingers. The flower seems to lean into your touch, welcoming your presence, acknowledging the gentleness with which you move through its domain. You are not an intruder here, but a guest, welcomed by the very plants themselves. Small birds flit among the branches, their movements quick, but not startling. They seem to accept your presence as easily as they accept the flowers and the flowing water. A tiny blue bird lands on a branch near your hand, regards you with bright eyes, then launches itself into the air with a flutter of wings that sounds like laughter. You discover a small bench carved from smooth stone, positioned perfectly to overlook one of the water channels. You settle onto it, feeling the warmth that the stone has absorbed from the sun during the day. The position allows you to watch the water as it flows, clear and clean, carrying with it flower petals and small leaves like messages from the gardens above. The sound of the water is hypnotic. Not the rush of a waterfall or the crash of waves, but a gentle murmuring that seems to echo the rhythm of your own pulse. You close your eyes and let the sound wash over you, through you, carrying away any remaining tension from your shoulders, your back, your mind. When you open your eyes again, the light has shifted, grown softer, more golden. The first terrace glows around you like a scene from a peaceful dream. You notice details you missed before. The way certain flowers turn their faces toward the fading sun. The patterns that water has carved in the stone channels. Over the centuries, the perfect placement of each tree and shrub. You rise from the bench, feeling refreshed, renewed, ready to explore the upper terraces. A stone stairway leads upward, wide steps worn smooth by age, comfortable for your feet. You climb slowly, pausing at each landing to look back at the terrace below, watching it spread out like a living tapestry. Oh. The second terrace opens before you, and you see that each level has its own character, its own collection of plants, its own particular beauty. Here, fruit, trees predominate, their branches heavy with dates and figs, pomegranates like rubies among the green leaves. The scent is richer here, sweeter, the fragrance of ripening fruit, mixing with the ever-present perfume of flowers. You pluck a date from a low, hanging branch. Oh, the fruit warm from the sun, sweet and nourishing. As you eat, you imagine the gardeners who tended these trees, who knew each plant by name, who understood the subtle art of helping things grow in this desert climate. Their knowledge lives on in every healthy branch, every perfect fruit. A peacock appears on the path ahead of you, its tail feathers trailing behind it, like a living jewel. The bird moves with unhurried grace, occasionally stopping to peck at something in the grass. It shows no fear of you, merely acknowledges your presence with the confidence of a creature that knows it belongs here. That is at home in paradise. You follow the peacock at a respectful distance, admiring the way its feathers catch the light, the elegant curve of its neck, the precise placement of each step. It leads you to a small grove of cedars, their branches forming a natural cathedral, their resinous scent filling the air with the fragrance of distant mountains. Within the cedar grove, you discover a small shrine, nothing elaborate, just a simple stone altar surrounded by offerings of flowers and fruit. The sight fills you with a deep sense of reverence. This is a place where gratitude has been offered, where the beauty of the gardens has inspired worship, where the divine presence in growing things has been acknowledged and honored. You add your own silent prayer of thanksgiving for this moment, for this beauty, for the peace that flows through you like clear water. The ancient stones seem to absorb your gratitude, to hold it along with countless other prayers offered in this sacred grove. Leaving the shrine, you continue your ascent. Each terrace reveals new wonders, new combinations of color and fragrance, new vistas looking out over the gardens below and the city beyond. The third terrace features water plants, lotus blossoms floating in still pools, reeds that whisper secrets to the evening breeze, waterfall that glide across the surface like living poetry. You kneel beside one of the pools, watching the lotus flowers float on the dark water. Their petals are perfect, untouched by any flaw, opening and closing in rhythm with some cosmic heartbeat. You see your own reflection in the water, but it seems more peaceful than usual, as if the serenity of this place has transformed even your appearance. The fourth terrace is devoted to herbs and healing plants. Here the air is thick with the scent of sage and rosemary, thyme and mint, lavender and chamomile. You run your hands through the herbs, releasing clouds of fragrance, feeling the essential oils on your fingertips. Each plant seems to offer its own gift of healing, its own blessing for your journey. An elderly gardener appears among the herbs, moving slowly but with purpose, tending to the plants with gentle hands. She looks up as you approach, her eyes kind and knowing. She nods in greeting, then returns to her work. But her presence adds to the sense of peace, of continuity, of the eternal cycle of planting and tending and harvesting. You watch her work for a moment, noticing the reverence with which she touches each plant, the way she seems to listen to what the herbs need. Her movements are like a meditation, slow and deliberate, completely present in each moment. You feel honored to witness this quiet devotion, this partnership between human and plant. The fifth terrace brings you among the flowering trees, cherries and apricots, almonds in delicate bloom. The branches create a canopy overhead, filtering the light into patterns of gold and green. Petals drift down like snow, carpeting the pathway with their gentle beauty. You walk through this natural cathedral, feeling blessed by every breath. A small doe steps delicately through the trees, pauses to look at you with liquid eyes, then continues on her way. Her presence adds to the sense that this is indeed paradise, a place where all creatures live in harmony, where fear has no place, where every being is welcomed and cherished. As you reach the sixth terrace, you realize that the sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold. The light filtering through the gardens grows ever more magical, transforming ordinary leaves into stained glass, turning simple flowers into jewels. You feel as if you are walking through a world made of light and beauty, a place where every step reveals new wonders. The seventh and highest terrace awaits, but you take your time reaching it, savoring each moment of this ascent through paradise. Each breath fills you with peace. Each step grounds you deeper in serenity. You are exactly where you need to be, moving at exactly the right pace, surrounded by beauty that speaks directly to your soul. Chapter 3. The Royal Palace. From the highest terrace of the gardens, you see a pathway leading toward the Royal Palace of Babylon. The palace rises before you like a vision from an ancient dream, its golden columns catching the last light of the setting sun. Its walls decorated with intricate carvings that seem to tell stories in the shifting shadows. You approach the palace slowly, savoring each step across the smooth stones that connect the gardens to the royal residence. The pathway is lined with tall cypress trees, their dark green branches creating a natural colonnade, their silence adding to the sense of approaching something sacred. Something set apart from the ordinary world. The entrance to the palace is magnificent, yet somehow welcoming. Massive doors of cedar wood, polished to a deep golden sheen, stand open as if waiting for your arrival. Guards would have stood here once, but now only the evening breeze keeps watch, stirring the silk banners that hang from tall poles, their colors muted in the gentle light. You pass through the doorway and find yourself in a vast courtyard, open to the darkening sky above. Stars are beginning to appear, tiny points of silver light against the deep blue. A fountain stands in the center of the courtyard, its water catching the starlight, creating moving patterns of light and shadow on the surrounding walls. The courtyard is paved with smooth marble, cool beneath your feet. The stone seems to glow with an inner light, as if it has absorbed the beauty of countless sunsets, countless peaceful evenings like this one. You walk slowly around the fountain, listening to the gentle splash of water, feeling the fine mist on your face, cooling and refreshing. Archways lead from the courtyard into the interior of the palace. Each one is perfectly proportioned, decorated with carvings of vines and flowers, spirals and geometric patterns that seem to draw the eye inward, toward the peaceful chambers that lie beyond. You choose one of the archways at random, trusting that any path in this place will lead to beauty. The corridor you enter is lined with tall columns, each one carved from a single piece of stone. Their surfaces are decorated with delicate reliefs, scenes of gardens and flowing water, birds in flight, flowers in eternal bloom. The work is so fine that you can almost smell the carved roses, almost hear the stone birds singing. Soft light filters in through high windows, creating pools of golden illumination on the polished floor. You walk from one pool of light to another, each step a small journey, each pause a moment of appreciation for the incredible artistry that surrounds you. The ancient craftsmen who created this place understood that beauty is a form of prayer, a way of honoring the divine. You come to a great hall, its ceiling so high that it seems to merge with the sky itself. Tall windows let in the evening air, carrying with it the scent of the garden's wall, the sound of distant water, the whispered songs of night birds. The hall is empty of furniture, but somehow this emptiness feels perfect, allowing the space itself to be the art, the experience. Oh, your footsteps echo softly in the vast space, the sound musical rather than intrusive, like notes played on some enormous instrument. You move slowly through the hall, pausing to admire the frescoes on the walls. Scenes of ancient Babylon in its glory, gardens and temples, rivers and stars, all painted with colors that seem to glow in the dim light. At the far end of the hall, you discover a balcony, a wide terrace that looks out over the city. You step onto it, feeling the cool evening air on your face. The view is breathtaking, the hanging gardens spreading below you like a green dream. The river Euphrates winding through the landscape like a silver ribbon. The lights of the city beginning to twinkle in the gathering dusk. A throne stands on the balcony, carved from black stone and inlaid with gold, but it faces away from the hall, toward the view, as if the ancient kings understood that true power comes not from dominating others, but from contemplating beauty, from finding one's place in the larger harmony of creation. You don't sit on the throne. That would not feel right. But you stand beside it, looking out at the same view that ancient rulers once contemplated, feeling connected across the centuries to all who have stood in this place, who have felt the peace that flows from beauty, who have understood that the greatest kingdoms are built not of stone and gold, but of moments like this. The river below catches the last light of the sun, its surface like molten metal, reflecting the colors of the sky. You watch boats moving slowly along its course, their sails barely stirring in the gentle breeze. Oh, the sight fills you with a deep sense of timelessness, of being part of something eternal, something larger than any single moment or lifetime. You turn back into the palace, ready to explore more of its peaceful chambers. Another corridor leads you to the Queen's apartments, smaller rooms, more intimate, decorated with scenes of daily life. Women at their looms, children playing in gardens, families gathered around tables laden with fruit and bread. The frescoes speak of joy, of contentment, of life lived in harmony with the rhythms of nature. In one of the smaller chambers, you find a window seat, cushioned with silk pillows, positioned perfectly to catch the evening breeze. You settle onto it, feeling the soft fabric against your skin, the gentle air stirring your hair. From here you can see into one of the palace's private gardens, a small enclosed space filled with flowering trees and singing fountains. The private garden is like a jewel, small but perfect. Every plant chosen for its beauty, its fragrance, its ability to create peace in the observer. A small pavilion stands in the center, its roof supported by slender columns, its interior furnished with divans covered in rich fabric. It looks like the perfect place for quiet conversation, for reading poetry, for simply sitting in peaceful contemplation. You imagine the royal family gathering in that pavilion, sharing meals, telling stories, enjoying the simple pleasure of being together in a beautiful place. The image fills you with warmth, with a sense of connection to the universal human need for love, for beauty, for moments of peace shared with those we cherish. Leaving the window seat, you continue your exploration. Each room you enter reveals new wonders. A library with scrolls containing ancient wisdom. A music room where the walls seem to echo with remembered melodies. A chamber filled with astronomical instruments, tools for studying the movements of the stars. Reminders that the ancient Babylonians were not only lovers of beauty, but seekers of truth. In the astronomical chamber, you pause before a great astrolabe, its bronze surface green with age, its intricate mechanisms still beautiful despite the centuries. Through the windows, You can see the stars that the ancient astronomers studied, the same constellations that guided their calculations, that inspired their understanding of time and space and the human place in the cosmos. The realization fills you with wonder that you stand in the same place where ancient scholars once worked, that you look up at the same stars that guided their thoughts, that the same moon that lights your way tonight once lit theirs. The continuity is profound, comforting, a reminder that human curiosity, human appreciation of beauty, human longing for understanding, these things are eternal. You make your way to the palace's highest tower, climbing a spiral staircase carved from smooth stone. The steps are worn by countless feet, truth, each one a testament to the generations who have climbed here before you, seeking the view from the top, the perspective that comes with height, the sense of rising above the concerns of daily life. The tower's peak offers a circular platform open to the sky, surrounded by a low wall that provides safety without blocking the view. From here, you can see the entire city of Babylon spread out below, the gardens like green islands in a sea of golden stone, the temples rising toward the stars, the river reflecting the moon's light like a path to the divine. The night air is cool and clean, filled with the scent of jasmine from the gardens below. You lean against the wall, looking out over this ancient wonder, feeling yourself a part of its eternal peace. Its beauty flows through you, becomes part of you, transforms you into someone who has been touched by paradise. As you prepare to leave the palace, you carry with you the memory of its golden light, its peaceful chambers, its connection to the eternal rhythms of beauty and wisdom. The silence embraces you like a blessing, preparing your heart for the sacred temples that await. The next stage of your journey through this city of wonders, Chapter 40, the sacred temples from the royal palace. You follow a path of white stones that leads toward the sacred district of Babylon. The temples rise before you in the moonlight, their ancient stones, silvered by the celestial glow, their forms both majestic and peaceful, like sleeping giants who dream of the divine. The path winds gently through groves of sacred trees, olives and myrrh, frankincense trees that release their precious resin into the night air. The fragrance creates an atmosphere of reverence, of approaching something holy, something that has been consecrated by centuries of prayer and devotion. You come first to the temple of Ishtar, goddess of love and beauty. The structure rises before you in graceful curves, its walls decorated with images of stars and flowers, doves and flowing water. The very architecture seems to embody the feminine divine, welcoming, nurturing, filled with the promise of peace and renewal. Steps lead up to the temple's entrance. Wide stairs carved from rose-colored stone that seems to glow in the moonlight. You climb slowly, reverently, feeling the smooth stone beneath your feet, sensing that each step takes you closer to something sacred, something that transcends the ordinary world. The entrance is flanked by columns carved with spiraling vines, roses and jasmine intertwined in eternal bloom. The detail is so fine that you can almost smell the carved flowers, almost feel the texture of the stone petals. The craftsmen who created this were not merely artisans, but devotees, creating their art as a form of prayer. Inside the temple, the air is cool and sweet, perfumed with incense and the lingering fragrance of countless flower offerings. Moonlight streams through high windows, creating patterns of silver light on the polished floor. The silence is profound, not empty, but full, pregnant with the accumulated prayers of generations. An altar stands at the temple's heart, simple but beautiful, made of white marble veined with gold. Fresh flowers have been placed upon it, roses and lilies, jasmine and myrtle, their colors muted in the soft light, but their fragrance strong and pure. Someone tends this sacred space, keeps it beautiful, honors the divine presence that dwells here. You approach the altar slowly, feeling the weight of the sacred oil, the presence of something larger than yourself. You don't need to believe in any particular doctrine to feel the holiness of this place, the love that has been poured into its stones, the devotion that has consecrated every corner. A small offering bowl sits beside the flowers, filled with clear water that reflects the moonlight like liquid silver. You dip your fingers into the cool water, touch it to your forehead, feeling blessed, cleansed, prepared for whatever revelation awaits. The simple ritual connects you to all who have performed it before. Across the centuries, leaving the temple of Ishtar, you follow another path to the great ziggurat of Marduk, the towering structure that was once the spiritual center of Babylon. It rises into the night sky like a mountain built by human hands, its multiple levels creating a stairway between earth and heaven. The ziggurat's base is massive, constructed of bricks that have withstood thousands of years. Each brick was made with care, fired in sacred flames, blessed by priests before being set in place. The entire structure is a testament to the human desire to reach toward the divine, to create something that bridges the gap between mortal and eternal. You begin to climb the ziggurat's ancient stairs, wide steps that wind around the outside of the structure, leading upward in a gentle spiral. The ascent is not hurried, not strenuous, but meditative, each step a small prayer, a movement toward enlightenment. As you climb, the city spreads out below you, the palace and gardens becoming smaller, more distant. The perspective changes with each turn of the spiral, showing you new views, new angles, reminding you that truth, like beauty, has many facets, many ways of being seen and understood. Halfway up the ziggurat, you find a small shrine, a resting place for pilgrims. Carved benches invite you to pause, to rest, to contemplate the journey both behind and ahead. You sit quietly, breathing the cool night air, listening to the gentle sounds that rise from the city below. The distant splash of fountains, the whisper of wind through the gardens. From this height, you can see the stars more clearly, brilliant points of light in the black velvet sky. The ancient Babylonians were master astronomers, and from places like this they studied the movements of celestial bodies, seeking to understand the divine plan written in the stars. Their knowledge flowed from reverence, from the understanding that the cosmos is a sacred text waiting to be read by those with wisdom. You continue your ascent, climbing toward the temple that crowns the ziggurat's peak. Each level brings new carvings, new decorations, scenes from ancient myths, stories of gods and heroes, reminders that the divine appears in many forms, speaks through many voices, can be approached by many paths. The temple at the ziggurat's summit is small but perfectly proportioned, its interior designed for intimate communion with the divine. The walls are covered with astronomical charts, star maps that show the eternal dance of planets and constellations. The ceiling is painted deep blue, scattered with golden stars that mirror the real sky visible through the open roof. An altar stands in the center of the temple. But this one is different from the flower-laden altar below. This is made of black stone, polished to mirror brightness on its surface. Astronomical instruments lie ready for use, astrolabes and sundials, tools for measuring the movements of heaven, for reading the divine message written in light and shadow. You stand in the center of this sacred space, looking up through the open roof at the star-filled sky, feeling yourself at the center of the cosmos, connected to the eternal rhythms that govern all existence. The silence here is absolute, the kind of silence that speaks, that reveals that transforms those who truly listen. Descending from the ziggurat, you make your way to the temple of Nabu, god of writing and wisdom. This temple is smaller than the others, more intimate, designed for quiet study and contemplation. Its walls are lined with niches that once held thousands of clay tablets. The library of ancient Babylon, repository of human knowledge and divine wisdom. Inside the temple, you can almost hear the whisper of ancient scholars, the soft sound of styluses moving across wet clay, the murmur of students learning to read the cuneiform script. This was a place of learning, of discovery, of the patient accumulation of wisdom across generations. A reading stand stands in the temple's center, carved from dark wood and inlaid with silver. On it rests an open tablet, its cuneiform characters sharp and clear in the moonlight. You cannot read the ancient script, but somehow you understand that it contains wisdom, truth, that transcends language, knowledge that speaks directly to the heart. You sit on one of the stone benches that line the temple walls, imagining the scholars who once gathered here, sharing their discoveries, debating the meaning of ancient texts, seeking always to understand more deeply, to penetrate further into the mysteries of existence. Youth. Their dedication sanctified this place, made it a temple not just to a god, but to the human quest for knowledge. The final temple on your journey is the smallest, the Temple of the Moon, dedicated to Sin, the lunar deity who watches over the night. This temple is almost hidden, nestled in a grove of sacred date palms, its entrance barely visible until you are almost upon it. The temple's interior is circular, its walls curving like the phases of the moon. Silver inlay traces lunar cycles across the stone, waxing and waning crescents, full moons that seem to glow with their own light. The floor is paved with dark stones that reflect like still water, creating the illusion of walking on moonbeams. At the temple's center, a shaft of moonlight falls through an opening in the roof, illuminating a simple altar carved from white stone. The light moves slowly across the altar's surface, marking the passage of time, the eternal cycle of night and day, lunar month and solar year. All the rhythms that govern life on Earth find their echo here. You stand in the moonbeam, feeling its cool light on your face, your hands. You become part of the temple's sacred geometry, a living element in its design, connected to the cosmic rhythms that the ancient builders understood so well. The moonlight seems to cleanse you, to wash away anything that is not essential, leaving only peace, only wonder, only the deep contentment that comes from touching the eternal. As you leave the sacred district, You carry with you the blessings of all four temples, the love of Ishtar, the cosmic wisdom of Marduk, the scholarly devotion of Nabu, the peaceful rhythms of Sin. These gifts prepare your spirit for the final stage of your journey. Oh, the sunset view from Babylon's highest terrace, where all the beauty you have experienced will merge into one perfect moment of transcendence. Chapter 5e. The sunset over Babylon. You make your way to the highest terrace of all, a platform built on the very pinnacle of Babylon's tallest tower. From here, you can see the entire known world spread out before you. The city of wonders at your feet, the river Euphrates winding toward distant mountains, the vast sky arching overhead like a painted dome. The sun hangs low on the western horizon, a golden orb that seems to rest on the edge of the world. Its light streams across the landscape, painting everything in shades of amber and rose, transforming the ordinary into the miraculous, turning the ancient city into a vision of paradise, bathed in celestial fire. You settle onto a cushioned bench, positioned perfectly to watch the sun's descent. The fabric beneath you is soft and warm, dyed in colors that echo the sunset itself, deep crimsons and burnished golds, royal purples that seem to hold the very essence of twilight. You feel embraced by luxury, by beauty, by the loving attention to detail that marks every aspect of this place. Below you, the hanging gardens cascade down their terraced levels, each tier catching the light differently, creating a symphony of greens and golds oud. The plants seem to glow from within, their leaves translucent in the slanted sunlight, their flowers, like jewels, scattered across velvet. Water falls from level to level, each cascade creating tiny rainbows in the mist. The palace spreads to your left, its golden columns blazing in the sunset, its courtyards filled with the long shadows of evening. You can see the chamber where you stood just hours ago, the balcony where ancient kings contemplated this same view. The continuity touches your heart, the knowledge that beauty endures, that some things remain constant across the centuries. To your right, the sacred temples stand in dignified silence, their stones warm with accumulated sunlight, their forms softened by the gentle haze of evening. Each one glows with its own particular character. The temple of Ishtar rose, pink in the dying light, the great ziggurat casting long shadows across the sacred district door, all of them united in peaceful reverence. The sun continues its descent, and the colors in the sky deepen, spread, transform. What began as simple gold now blossoms into coral and salmon, vermilion and deep rose. The clouds catch fire, becoming ships of light sailing across an ocean of color. The entire sky becomes a canvas, painted by the divine artist with pigments too beautiful for any earthly palette. You breathe deeply, drawing the perfumed air into your lungs. The scent of jasmine rises from the gardens below, mingling with frankincense from the temples, cedar from the palace, the clean smell of water over stone. All the fragrances of this blessed place combine to create an atmosphere of perfect peace, of harmony between earth and heaven. A gentle breeze stirs your hair, your clothing, carrying with it the whispered songs of evening birds, the distant splash of fountains, the soft rustle of leaves in the gardens. The sounds create a natural symphony, a lullaby that seems to emanate from the very stones of the city. From the heart of Babylon itself, as the sun sinks lower, its reflection appears in the Euphrates, a column of molten gold stretching from the horizon to the river bank. Boats move slowly along the water, their sails filled with the evening breeze, their occupants probably returning home after a day of work or trade. The sight fills you with a profound sense of the eternal rhythm of human life, work and rest, journey and homecoming, effort and peace. You notice how the light changes everything it touches. The ordinary buildings of the outer city become palaces, their mud bricks transformed into gold. The distant mountains turn purple and blue, mysterious and beautiful, like the homes of gods. Even the desert beyond the river's fertile strip takes on an ethereal quality, its sands glowing pink and lavender in the reflected light. The gardens below you seem to pulse with life. Plants that appeared merely green in the full light of day now reveal subtle variations. Silver, green olive leaves, blue-green cypresses, the golden green of date palms. Each species contributes its own note to the visual symphony, its own shade to the living tapestry that spreads beneath your elevated perch. You watch as shadows begin to gather in the deeper recesses of the gardens, pooling like dark water in the spaces between terraces. Yet even these shadows are beautiful, soft and welcoming rather than stark. They create depth and mystery, reminders that beauty has its hidden aspects, its quiet corners where the soul can rest and be renewed. A flock of birds rises from one of the lower gardens, their wings catching the light like scattered gold coins. They wheel and turn in perfect formation, their flight a living demonstration of harmony and grace. For a moment they seem to hang motionless against the colored sky, silhouetted like calligraphy written by the wind. Then they settle into the uppermost branches of the date palm's yew, adding their evening songs to the peaceful chorus. The sun touches the horizon now, balanced perfectly on the edge of the world. For a moment it seems to pause, as if reluctant to end this perfect day. The light intensifies, becomes richer, deeper. You feel as if you are witnessing something sacred, the daily miracle of sunset, the moment when day transforms into night, when the visible world prepares to merge with the realm of dreams. From your high vantage point, you can see the lights beginning to twinkle in the city below. Oil lamps being lit in windows, torches flaring to life along the pathways, braziers glowing in courtyards. Babylon is transforming itself for the night, putting on its evening dress of scattered stars, becoming a reflection of the heavens above. The palace gardens glow with their own gentle illumination. Lanterns hung among the trees, their light filtering through leaves to create patterns of gold and green on the pathways below. You can see figures moving slowly through these illuminated spaces, evening strollers taking advantage of the cool air, their presence adding life and warmth to the beautiful scene. Water catches and holds the light wherever it flows. The fountains in the courtyard sparkle like liquid jewels. The channels that carry water through the gardens gleam like silver threads. The great river itself has become a mirror, reflecting not only the sun, but the entire painted sky, doubling the beauty, creating a world above and a world below, both equally magical. The air grows cooler as the sun continues its descent, but the cooling is gentle. Welcome after the warmth of the day. You draw your cloak closer around your shoulders, feeling the soft fabric that seems to hold the day's warmth. You are perfectly comfortable, perfectly positioned to witness this daily miracle, this transformation of the world from the golden realm of day to the silver kingdom of night. Behind you, you hear the soft footsteps of temple attendants, lighting the evening incense, preparing the sacred spaces for night prayers. Their presence adds to the sense of continuity, daughter, of the eternal rhythms that govern both human life and the natural world. You are part of something larger, something that has continued for countless generations, something that will continue long after you have gone. The sun sinks lower, and the colors in the sky deepen still further. What was gold becomes copper. What was rose becomes deep crimson. The clouds stretch across the sky like banners, proclaiming the glory of the ending day, celebrating the beauty that emerges when earth and heaven meet in perfect harmony. You find yourself breathing more slowly, more deeply. Your heartbeat seems to match the gentle rhythm of the evening breeze, the soft pulse of water over stones. You are becoming synchronized with the peaceful rhythms of this place, your very being tuned to the frequency of paradise, of perfect peace. of beauty so profound it touches the divine. A star appears in the darkening sky, the first herald of night, then another, then scattered points of silver light that seem to echo the lamps being lit in the city below. The eternal dance between heaven and earth continues, each reflecting the other, each adding to the other's beauty, creating a harmony that speaks of the underlying unity of all creation. The sun's disk grows larger as it approaches the horizon, taking on deeper hues, orange and red and deep gold, like a cosmic flower blooming in reverse. It seems to gather all the light of day into itself, concentrating the beauty of the entire world into one perfect sphere, one moment of transcendent glory. You realize that you are holding your breath. So profound is the beauty of this moment, so perfect the harmony of color and light, sound and fragrance, warmth and coolness. You are witnessing the daily miracle that has inspired poets and prophets, artists and mystics for countless generations. The moment when the ordinary world reveals its divine nature. The gardens below seem to settle into evening peace. The busy activity of day gives way to the contemplative quiet of night. Plants seem to exhale the day's warmth, releasing fragrances that have been building throughout the hours of sunlight. The air grows richer, more complex, filled with the breath of countless growing things. From the temples comes the sound of evening prayers, voices raised in ancient chants, words that have been spoken in this place for centuries. The sounds blend with the natural music of water and wind, creating a symphony that speaks of the human desire to participate in the cosmic harmony, to add the voice of consciousness to the eternal song of creation. The sun touches the horizon, begins to sink behind it. The sky explodes into final glory. Colors you have no names for spread across the heavens. Crimson and gold and deep purple merge and separate and merge again. The entire western sky becomes a window into the divine realm, a glimpse of the beauty that lies beyond the veil of ordinary perception. You feel tears on your cheeks, but they are tears of joy, of gratitude, of overwhelming appreciation for this moment of perfect beauty. You have been granted a vision of paradise, a glimpse of the world as it was meant to be, as it can be when human artistry and natural beauty combine in perfect harmony. The sun disappears behind the horizon, but its light lingers, reflected in the clouds, caught in the water, held in the stones of the ancient city. The world doesn't grow dark, but transforms, taking on the silver beauty of twilight, the mysterious loveliness of the border realm between day and night. Stars multiply in the darkening sky. The moon appears, a silver crescent that seems to smile down on the peaceful city. Oil lamps flicker like earthbound stars throughout Babylon, creating a reflection of the heavens, a human attempt to mirror the beauty of the cosmic order. You sit in perfect stillness, wrapped in the peace of this moment. Your journey through the wonders of Babylon has brought you to this, the understanding that true beauty is not something we merely observe, but something we become part of, something that transforms us, lifts us, makes us participants in the eternal dance of creation. The night air carries new fragrances, the perfume of flowers that bloom only in darkness, the cool scent of dew beginning to form on grass and leaves. The sounds change too, becoming softer, more mysterious, the whisper of wind through ancient stones, the distant call of night birds, the gentle splash of water that never ceases its peaceful music. You know that eventually you will have to leave this place, return to the world of ordinary concerns. But you also know that you will carry this peace with you, this vision of beauty, this understanding that paradise is not a place, but a state of being, a way of seeing, a quality of attention that can transform any moment into something sacred. The stars shine brighter as the sky grows darker. The eternal lights that guided ancient astronomers, that inspired poets and lovers, that have watched over human dreams for countless millennia. They seem to welcome you into their vigil, to invite you to share their perspective, their view of the world from the heights of eternity. You close your eyes, letting the peace of this moment sink deep into your soul, feeling yourself becoming part of the eternal harmony. Your breathing synchronized with the rhythm of the cosmos, your heartbeat aligned with the pulse of creation itself. In this moment, you are no longer a visitor to paradise. You have become paradise. You are the peace you sought, the beauty you admired, the divine harmony made manifest in conscious appreciation. When you open your eyes again, the transformation is complete. Night has claimed the sky, but it is not the absence of light. It is light transformed, gentled, made mysterious and beautiful. The city of Babylon glows softly in the darkness, a constellation fallen to earth, a dream made manifest in stone and water, gardens and temples, beauty and peace. You remain on your high perch, wrapped in perfect contentment, breathing the perfumed air of paradise, listening to the eternal music of water and wind, watching the play of earthly and celestial lights. You have completed your journey through the wonders of Babylon, but the real journey, the inner transformation, is just beginning. This peace will travel with you. This beauty will remain in your heart. This moment of perfect harmony will become the foundation for a lifetime of deeper seeing, more profound appreciation, more conscious participation in the endless dance of creation. The night deepens around you, but you are not in darkness. You are wrapped in the gentle light of stars, the soft glow of understanding, the radiant peace that comes from having touched, however briefly, the eternal beauty that underlies all existence. In this moment, you are home, you are whole, you are exactly where you belong, in the heart of wonder, in the center of peace, in the very essence of the divine harmony that creates and sustains all worlds.